Hello, and welcome to Dialogue Tree, Episode 2, the only show on the internet where you can listen to us talk. I don't have a better tagline than that.
I could not have asked for a better tagline, and I could
Okay,
not have
great.
come up with a better tagline myself. Good evening. You want to introduce yourself for those who are listening to us for the first time?
Of course, as always, I'm Matthew Peterson, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Daniel Padilla.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here tonight. Just a kind warning for everyone. I am having a nice tangerine-flavored seltzer, so I may be a little burpy tonight.
Oh, God.
Yep.
What
Just
an
a heads up.
inappropriate choice of drink for a podcast.
Dude, it's nice and refreshing and soothing, after having supper. It's
Is it
nice
polar?
and soothing. No, we don't get polar here. It's a weird.
Oh,
it's
really?
called Syfo, spelled Syfo. I don't know where it's from.
It just appears on your doorstep and you drink it.
Leesburg, Florida. Distributed by Universal Beverages, Leesburg, Florida.
Oh, Universal Studios, Florida.
You're right. Universal Studios is in Florida. You're right. Maybe it's the same people.
I apologize for that. It's just like word association.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So today I watched the Spiderman Into the Spiderverse movie. It was fantastic, dude.
It's
oh my
about
God.
fucking time, man. Isn't it a great
so
movie?
Right. It's so good. Oh my God.
What'd you like about it, particularly? Anything in particular?
Well, this is like the least timely review of Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse.
Right. If anyone was ever interested in watching it, they would have already seen it by this time.
Yeah. I like all the styles.
Yeah.
Like, they have all the different characters, but it's kind of like Smash where they have all these different universes, but it doesn't like clash really. It all looked pretty good together. Overall,
it's still sort of cohesive anyway, right?
Yeah, I think just as a movie, like the shot composition, like when he's falling down upside down and the city is behind him right side up, like things like that, they just look really cool, and it has that nice comic book style that pops in.
Aesthetic, yeah.
I like pretty much everything, but the villain, his design was pretty lame.
His design's pretty lame, and it's also kind of weird, right? Like if you think about how he exists in this world, there's no way he would fit through like literally any door that you see in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What the hell? Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think of that.
It's a weird stylistical choice.
He just reminds me of that dude from Despicable Me, the one from the memes.
He's
your profile picture right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
But he's just that guy, but really buff.
Just bigger, and wider.
But yeah, I mean that didn't like ruin the movie or anything. It was just weird that he was so plain when everything else is like amazing. I guess it's for contrast. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I think one of the biggest things that like stuck with me, like I've always been a big Spider-Man fan. Like even to this day, I find that I don't really care much about superheroes or the Marvel Cinematic Universe like at all. Like I find that I really just like Spider-Man as a character. But what I thought was really powerful is because even me today, a grown ass 25-year-old man, I guess, if you will, I found it really, really relatable. The fact that, I felt the character was a lot more relatable just because of the fact that he's like a Hispanic kid, you know what I mean, with Hispanic parents and everything.
It features like Spanish-speaking characters in the story.
Yeah, and I just think about how powerful that must be for like a child growing up with this movie. You know what I mean? Like a Hispanic child growing up with this movie. Like I felt a lot more related to the character, and therefore I felt a lot more like sympathetic towards the character, and it made me feel cool, you know what I mean, and everything, and I enjoyed it a lot more. Even though I grew up with fucking Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
I think it's a better depiction of New York. Like Tobey Maguire is like, first of all, he's like 32, but he's like in a suburban private school, and they're all 32. Yeah. It's just weird. It doesn't really work.
Flash Thompson in that movie, he's like fucking 40. like I don't think I've ever seen a person that looks as big and as old as he does in any like sort of academic environment. You know what I mean? Like all through my time at Clark or even like in high school, I never saw anyone who looked nearly as big or as old as he did. Damn.
And that movie was damn funny, dude. Oh my God.
The Tobey Maguire movies?
I was cracking. No, the Spider-Verse. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I was dying at the beginning where he does the stupid Spider-Man 3 dance, and They get that out of the
Oh
way.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
that
yeah.
thought that was hilarious. I thought the
That
ending
was
was
hot.
really good. I thought the ending was still like it might age poorly because it's kind of a meme thing, but I thought it was still funny the after credits thing.
I forget what
And
it
the
is.
movie came out a while ago. It's like you know that picture of Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man,
Oh
and it's like a
yeah,
meme.
yeah. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
yeah. That'll be pretty irrelevant in a couple of years, probably.
But like, it still kind of works as a
It
joke,
works,
even if
yeah.
you
It
don't get the
works, of
meme.
course,
Yeah,
of course, of course.
and it's
No, I
just the
get
after
it.
credits. Yeah, I thought that
Yeah,
was good.
there's a couple of points that I want to talk about, but I guess they're kind of spoiler-y, and I don't know if we should. It is pretty much a year-old movie, so I don't know if we should
Yeah,
like
I
touch
mean,
upon
just
these.
say it now. Spoiler warning.
Yeah, just a little bit of a spoiler warning. I don't know how long this will take. Maybe not a lot, but just skip a couple seconds.
Spoilers will end in about 5 minutes at the 11-minute mark.
No, I thought it was even like how the relationship develops between like the alternate universe Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the current universe. I love how the
Yeah,
relationship develops to the point that like even in the end, I don't know what it is that Miles Morales does, but then Peter Parker, I think he just appears. He just shows up to
he
the place
goes
where
back
Nels
home.
was. He goes back home, but then he goes back to like wherever the action was happening into like the collider or whatever,
Mhm.
and he does something. He like
Oh, okay.
saves
No,
them
I
or
thought you
whatever.
meant. Yeah, I thought you meant the other Peter. Yeah, he like they're like you're not ready, and then he has this like moment where he realizes this is power, and then he comes in to save the
Yeah.
day.
Right, right. He said, and then Peter Parker just says something like I'm so proud of you. I love you, and that shit is just so tender,
And then
man.
he's like,
I
"Oh,
love that.
maybe I should have had kids."
Yeah,
I don't know. He had a pretty good
yeah,
character for being like a washed up Spider-Man. Is kind of a funny take
exactly.
on it.
And he kind of like grows into it, and you see him. I don't know. You see him like grow throughout the movie, and
Yeah,
it's just cool. I also like the part where he sees Mary Jane. I thought that was weirdly
yeah,
heartwarming. He's just like,
yeah,
"I'm so sorry," and she just wanted like the loaf of bread or whatever,
yeah, yeah,
like a dinner roll or something.
yeah.
It's excellent, man. It's just all around excellent, excellent film. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and the only issue that I have with it, and it's not even like a real issue, is just I'm thinking I would like to see more Spider-Man movies done in this fashion. Like I would
Hmm.
like to see a sequel, but then I start thinking like I just don't know how they're going to come up with a sequel that's as good or like even better or even just as good as this was. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah,
afraid
but
that like if they come
if
up
it's
with a
at least
sequel,
close, it could be at least worth watching.
this
Even if it's not as
right,
good, it could still be awesome.
it could still be awesome. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's
Aren't they
just
making another one? I'm not really in the loop on that thing,
I
but
thought I
I
saw
I think
something.
there's
I
another
thought I
one in the
saw
works.
yeah, I think I saw like a promo for it.
Yeah.
Like a Japanese Spider-Man thing, but I haven't really looked into it and I don't really know. And to be honest, I don't really know what's the status with that is.
If you want to keep talking about Spider-Man, is there anything else you wanted to say? You said you had a few points.
So character development. I also think it's cool how I don't know how to word this because I didn't like think about it and I didn't like revisit the movie before talking about it, but I think it's cool, like all the you know what I mean, how the each Spider-Man's stories sort of like parallels each other, and I
Mm,
thought this
yeah.
Miles Morales' particular story is interesting considering that like his uncle is like his way out of his uncle helps him like escape like his reality. He's like supports his art and everything, and he'll like you know what I mean. He like go out of his way to like spend time with his uncle so he can get out of the house and whatever. And it's just I don't know. I think it's pretty cool how like tragic that story is. You know what I mean? Like I honestly never really saw it coming that he would end up being the villain. And I just thought about how you know what I mean? Because Miles Morales is just a fucking kid. What is he like 15, 16 years old and having to
He's
deal with this
probably yeah.
bullshit?
I think he's starting high school and
Yeah,
or maybe
exactly.
middle school even. He's very young.
And so the uncle that he would like look up to and like find so much like find such a like a comfort zone and like a safe zone in that ends up not only being the villain but like actually like dies in front of him and everything. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I don't know. It's just like such a like a powerful moment. And then like his uncle like apologizes to him and everything, saying like it's all my fault. I'm so sorry. It's so powerful, man. It is so well written. To be honest, I don't really know anything about Miles Morales or the Miles Morales lore. I've read a couple of I read like the first 20 or so Ultimate Spider-Mans, which is kind of what the Peter Parker, I mean, the Tobey Maguire movies are based on.
Hmm.
But I don't really know anything about Miles Morales or his lore or anything, so I don't really know how like true to the lore it is, but I thought it was really, really powerful and really well handled and everything. Really engaging.
Yeah, it had really nice music too throughout it. Just the subtle, good music choices go a long way in films,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of like fit his personality. You know what I mean? Like music that he was like actively listening to as that
Oh
character in the
yeah.
movie was also the music for the audience.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. No, I think well, those are all the points that I wanted to make. I think it's a fantastic movie, and
It was so good. I don't want to like spend too long talking about it because I think I might have been the last person to see it.
on Earth.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fantastic. I'm
Yeah,
glad you made me watch it. It was so good.
yeah, dude. Of course, I'll
I'll
recommend that
definitely
shit
watch
to.
it again sometime again.
I'll recommend that shit to everyone, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
and it's honestly a movie that made me so happy to watch. You know what I mean? Throughout the entire thing,
Yeah,
I was.
yeah, it was just a joyful experience. Even like, there are sad parts, but it's just
Yeah, of
a
course.
great experience
Overall,
to have. Yeah.
yeah. Wait, shit, Matthew, do you hear
What is
that?
it?
Is
Oh
that
my
the
God.
is that the hot take alert?
Hot take alert.
Yes, it
Ah,
is.
damn.
Okay, this is perfect. I want to go first because you talking about movie releases reminded me of what I was going to say. And
Okay.
I don't know, I might be cheating a little because this is like a conspiracy theory.
Oh
But
shit.
I mean, what is a hot take? What is a hot
Wait,
take but
wait. Let me guess.
a
Let me guess. Let me
crazy
guess.
statement that not many people agree with,
Let
right?
me guess. Let me guess. Let me guess.
Okay.
Is this about Sonic?
Yes.
Excellent. I knew it. All right, I'm excited.
Okay. This is my theory that Sonic, it looks pretty good now. If you've seen the new trailer, he looks way better.
Dude, even the trailer itself, sorry, the trailer itself is a lot less offensive than the first trailer was. Like,
This is exactly what I'm getting at.
go ahead.
All right. So get this. Maybe this trailer wasn't made all along, but they've had this concept all along. They intentionally make a terrible, terrible trailer because Sonic's reputation and brand is so in the mud that it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what they do. They can make it as bad as they want.
Right.
It's in the internet latches onto it because it's so bad. They like have to mock them, and it generates like this interest and conversation and hype. Then they're like, okay, we hear you. So it looks like they're listening to the fans. Then
Right.
I mean, this whole development cycle is planned. It was never actually pushed back. It was all
Of
PR
course.
stunt. They just
Of course.
wanted, it was like a viral marketing scheme. Now they released the real Sonic movie and it's average, but everyone goes sees it anyways.
Yeah.
And they're like mildly disappointed, but they still get the money from it instead of just like some people seeing it because it's ironically bad. You know what I mean?
Right, and they still get the good PR from like the whole thing of oh, we listen to the fans, so we're actually like taking action and like improving
Exactly.
the character design and everything. Yeah.
So
No, dude,
let me
honestly,
just synthesize that into like one sentence. Like the original Sonic trailer was intentionally terrible to generate hype. There we go. That's my take.
man, I could totally see where you're coming from, and that's a good one. That's a good one. Hopefully, that'll stir some conversation with our listeners, and it'll give them something to ponder and something to think about.
Do you think I'm crazy, or I might have a chance of being right?
No, I think you might have a chance of being right. One thing that I did hear, originally the film was set to release in November, and that's supposed to be like some of the most profitable months to release movies in, regardless of whether the movie is good or not. And so
right.
One of the things that I heard was like it would be really unusual to like stay a release date in November and then push it back to February, which is like significantly less profitable for movies.
Okay.
That may be like the only, I guess, counter argument that I might have.
Yeah, that's a fair point though.
Yeah, but I think everything else, honestly, totally 100% makes sense, man, to be honest.
And even if it was bad, not on purpose, like they definitely have definitely benefited from it being bad. You know what I mean? Like if it was just average and not terrible, the movie would have just kind of flown under the radar. But this really worked in their favor, even if it wasn't planned.
No, and it totally did because there's like I don't know, like a handful of like YouTubers that I watch consistently, and like literally all of them released the video after the original trailer aired or was published, and even to this day they're still tweeting about it, and they're probably releasing and I think that pretty much they've all released videos about the new trailer and everything. So like
right, yeah,
these
are
huh?
Keep going.
No, I was just gonna say that these are like channels that have like anywhere from like 200 to like 500,000 subscribers and stuff like that. So they definitely have like a following. And like if these guys are talking about this movie and everything surrounding this movie, then I'm sure there's 100 other people that are also starting conversations on this. So it's definitely been, I don't know, it's definitely been something that people have been talking about, and I'm sure that'll be, in the end, it'll be something positive for the movie and the studio and everyone involved.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say, I remember when the trailer released, like the whole trending everything on YouTube that like was recommended was just videos about the trailer to me.
Yeah, you're right. Now everyone's just getting recommended the stupid Game Grumps video on fuck Mr. whatever his name is.
Oh, Mr. Hatcher.
Fuck Mr. Hatcher, yeah. Have you ever seen that, by the way?
Yeah, I've seen a speed run.
Okay. You see the speed run? Well, have you seen
I've
the
seen
Game
the Game
Grumps
Grumps one too.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
I've seen the
yeah.
Game Grumps episode too. I was just saying it's funny that there's a speed run category
Of
for
course, yeah.
it. It's like 11 seconds.
How can there not? No way. Damn. Okay.
Because I mean, it's Flash. You can just
You can just do it
hit
if you know the
tab
answer
to highlight the next element and then mash it into
Okay, yeah,
like
you're
an old
right.
Flash
You're
game.
right.
Anyways, we're getting a little off topic. Let's hear your take
Yeah.
of the week.
Dude, my hot take. It may be a little bit controversial. In fact, I'm sure it will be. But, dude, I gotta come out here and say that I want to say I watched the first 4 seasons of BoJack Horseman, and I grew very, very disenchanted with the show, and to the point that I just like stopped watching it, thinking, there's no way that I can keep watching this shit. Like I remember watching the first few seasons and thinking it was cool. I think the BoJack character is good. I think he's well developed. I think his stories in particular are pretty compelling. However, around the point that I stopped watching it, I don't really know, right? But I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. You've seen pretty much all the way through it, haven't you?
Yeah, the only thing I haven't seen is the new season that's just
The new
releasing
season.
now. I haven't started it.
Which I wouldn't even know about. But there's a couple of episodes that he just sort of leaves, right? He's just not around.
Yes. There's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, and so I don't really remember what happens in those episodes, but I remember like him not being in those episodes just didn't really like work with me, and all the story. And I don't know, around the time that I stopped watching it, they had this thing where Mr. Peanut Butter was running for, I think, for mayor or for Congress or something.
Governor.
For governor against this dude who was he an otter or something? Do you remember?
Sorry, it was
like an otter or a possum or something. A beaver. Okay. But
it's a Chuck Woodchuck. Sorry.
You're right. It's a woodchuck, and he loses his hands. Right, something like they get like stuck underground and whatever. And I remember him losing his hands. And for 2 or 3 episodes straight, they just kept like relying on the same gag of him like appearing in the scene whenever like every scene that he appeared in, he would just have like different hands because they couldn't find like the appropriate, I guess,
like surgery.
Yeah, so he would just like
a donor. Yeah,
right. He would just appear with different hands, and like that, it would be the same joke every time that he was on screen. And I was like, okay. It didn't quite work for me, and even like the whole plot line of Mr. Peanut Butter running for governor it just seemed kind of like irrelevant to me. There was nothing quite that I like got out of it. I don't think none of the gags that may have come out of it made me like work with me. But not only that, but like parallel to that storyline, I'm pretty sure that we also had the storyline of like it's been so long since I've actually seen the show that I don't even remember what the other dude's name is. Todd, yeah, he's trying to open like a weird dentist shop run by clowns and whatever.
Yeah.
And see, that just, I don't know, man. To me, that kind of humor is just kind of coming out of the blue, and it just doesn't work for me. And not only that, but like I don't know. This was around the time that Bojack wasn't around, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he was.
No, I think he's around for the clown thing, but it doesn't. I mean, that's like Bojack kind of has this own adventure, like divorced from the other characters, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so it's weird, right? Because I feel like the whole Bojack side of the show is still pretty good, it's still pretty compelling, but I'm just not willing to like put up with all the other stuff that I believe, to me, it's just kind of sort of filler and doesn't really like add a lot to what I'm looking to get out of the show. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, and even beyond that, I don't know. I thought there were a few episodes that like I understand. Even the the episode with the lobotomy, dude. That
Yeah, I
just
mean that's pretty. How would I say? That's a pretty divisive arc.
it just seems to me like it comes out of nowhere, and it I don't really understand what purpose it's served other than shock value. To be 100% honest, you know what I
I
mean?
think the intended kind of point is that um, the your parents pass on their experiences and trauma, like in a way, like the way your parents lived and were raised can affect you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And like that families kind of pass down their sadness.
right.
I will say I didn't really like that part as much either, so I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, that shit just kind of like the episode was building up to like I understood the family drama behind everything. It was just like lobotomy. Like I don't, to be like perfectly honest, I don't really know how often, how like regular that was, how common it was,
I
or
mean,
the reasons why people did
it
it.
happened to people, right?
Right, exactly. But I never thought it was a thing that like people, like families would just do it to like their children for, I don't know.
I think you have to be, you'd have to like have a doctor say, okay, this person is mentally
Yeah,
unwell, but
right.
what did that mean back then?
Exactly. So I don't know. That shit just kind of came out of nowhere. Beyond that, though, like I do remember enjoying like the first couple of seasons. Right, there's this episode where he just kind of goes underwater, and
Yeah,
there's
and there's
no
no
dialogue,
sound.
no sound at all. You're right. Not even no dialogue, but like no sound at all. It's just really, really
What
interesting.
an artistic episode, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was cool, and even just again, just BoJack's arcs, I thought they were super interesting. How like he put all this effort into like this big movie role that he and everyone was talking about was going to earn him like his big award, and then he earns it, but he still kind of feels like shit. And
Mhm.
it's interesting, right? Because it's relatable. But it just as the show went on, and I like tried to keep watching it, it just felt like it kept getting padded with like a bunch of other storylines that just didn't really do anything for me. You know what I mean? To the point where I just didn't want to keep watching it.
Okay,
And I've given this
okay.
shit a lot of thought because I hate being that guy who like dislikes stuff. So like whenever something doesn't click with me, I try to like think about, okay, why is this shit not clicking with me? And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the conclusions that I've arrived at. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's okay to not like things. I still like the show. I haven't watched the new season yet. I should start it, but I've been liking the whole time pretty much. I think the part about Mr. Peanut Butter running for governor, everything, like Mr. Peanut Butter is too stupid to learn, really. Like
Right.
he's a very simplistic person. I think the real point is that Diane encourages him because she's his wife and she wants him to be
Right.
happy, but
Yeah.
then realizes that she's kind of created a monster by allowing this fool to
Because
win
he
an
might actually
election,
win
and
and
she kind
whatever.
of
Yeah.
questions the validity of her entire life.
Right.
Uh, yeah, that is a hot take, I'll say.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is mine for the week.
Maybe I'll follow up after I watch the start of the next episode, if I have something super hot takey to say about it. I have no
Yeah.
idea what people think about it.
No, I mean I'm
Could
still
be like
curious.
the
Yeah.
new Game of Thrones season, right?
Oh shit, you're right. Where everyone just like
I
hated
never
the
watched Game of
finale.
Thrones. Yeah, I never watched the show. I just am aware of the bomb that it apparently was.
Yeah, I remember everyone talking about it on Twitter. Dude, my Twitter. I don't know how active you are on Twitter, but I'm.
Pretty not.
Excuse me. Pretty not. Yeah, I like go on it fairly often. And I remember that Sunday night, everyone was just like freaking out about it. Literally everyone.
Speaking of new seasons coming out, Rick and Morty is half of the first 5 episodes of the new Rick and Morty season are coming out right now,
Oh
and I
shit!
watched the
Already?
first
Damn.
one.
What you think? How do you like it?
Um, there was still a lot of jokes that I thought were funny, and it's like the same shit, but I just felt like I don't know, like I didn't feel like it was as classic as the older seasons. Like it's just a little bit off to me. But maybe it's
Okay.
just the one episode, it's hard to tell from just one episode.
Yeah, for sure. You're just, like sticking with it, aren't you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Of course. I do like the show. And I think season 3 was definitely not as good as 1 and 2, but it wasn't awful or by any means.
Right. It was still like worth watching. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I hope season 4 is at least that good.
Right.
But
You know,
I really hope it's as good as season 1 and 2.
yeah, Rick and Morty is unfortunately one of those other shows that I just can't. And that one I haven't really seen a lot. I just know I just find whatever the scientist is that Rick?
Yeah, that's Rick.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just find him kind of like unpleasant. The way this is the way that he talks and how he's like always drooling and burping around and stuff
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
just pretty gross.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just not quite what I'm looking for in my entertainment. You know what I mean? Like I don't doubt that there's like a clever, well written show and everything. It's just not quite something that I would like. I don't know. Not something that I kind of would like to like dedicate my time towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
show kind of has a bad habit of like implying that Rick does care about other people, like very, very deep down in some capacity, but then kind of like backpedaling on it and keeping it uh divorced and ambiguous.
Yeah, I don't know. Once again, I don't doubt that it's like a well written show. It's just not something that. But I have heard, right. Like even my buddies here in Honduras are all really excited about it, and I haven't really like spoken to them about what they thought about the first episode, but they were all like looking forward to it. That I know for sure.
You should check out the interdimensional cable episodes because it's just them watching TV from like different universes, so
Yeah.
it's just 20 minutes of like improv comedy sketches, and like Rick is
Oh shit.
the
Okay.
characters are
Interesting.
just there like in the background watching the shows. You're just watching weird sketch comedy from Harmon and Justin Roiland, and it's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, that'd be that. I would be curious to see that. And that's another thing. Like I'm a big. I don't know if you ever saw Community, but I think that's an excellent show. I used to like it a lot back when it was.
I haven't watched
I
it
like.
myself. I do like
It's
Dan Harmon
good,
though.
man. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen any other Dan Harmon except for Community. I know he has like a bunch of other shows and he does like stuff on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, I listened to his podcast once or twice. It was pretty good.
Yeah, Community is really good, man. To be honest, I think I watched everything and I pretty enjoyed it pretty consistently up until whenever Piers, who is the character played by what's the old dude Chevy Chase.
Chevy
Uh,
Chase, yeah.
Chevy Chase, he's my favorite character in the show. And then like once he leaves, the other guy played by Childish Gambino, they both kind of leave like around the same time. And once they both leave, I'm like, I just didn't really know where they could like go with the show, and I just never really kept watching it. But up until that point, I would say it's pretty consistently good and clever. You know what I mean? And even they like play around with TV genres and everything, right? They have like a Western episode and like a zombie apocalypse type episode and everything.
Okay, yeah.
So
I love stuff like that,
it's
honestly.
right. It's an interesting watch, man. It's funny, and they have like their oddball, like sort of like artistically oddball episodes as well. So it's just like all around entertaining.
Did you ever watch Mr. Robot, by the way?
I saw the first season and I thought it was pretty good.
There's this is not in the first season. There's just one episode where it's like he's having like a fever dream, but it's like the entire episode is like in weird like family sitcom format, and Alf is there because they have the rights to Alf. It's very bizarre, but yeah, I love that kind of thing where they just go out on an episode as like a gimmick.
Yeah, and it happens a lot throughout Community, so you might find that to your liking.
Something that kind of dissuaded me from it. I don't like know really about this, but I heard there was some sort of creative control like fight Dan Harmon had over the show, and he left.
He kind of leaves. Yeah, he kind of leaves
sure.
in the middle of it, and I think those seasons get a little bit weak. But I think overall, it kept me engaged, and that's saying something. Like I don't know, we probably had this conversation in the past, but I'm not really like big into like TV shows. You know what I mean? There's only a few like dramas that I've seen all the way through, and there's only a few comedies that I've seen all the way through, and you know what I mean? Like I never finished watching like the last couple of seasons of Community because my favorite characters were gone. But for as long as my favorite characters were around, even though Dan Harmon kind of like dipped the show, I think it remained at least as strong as I would want it to be. Definitely not as strong as the first couple or as like the last season where Dan Harmon was actually in it. but I don't know. I would still say it's worth definitely worth watching.
And that's kind of a thing too, right? A lot of times the show is like not ready to go out, so the last seasons just kind of suck because it's like
Yeah,
clawing for life.
right. Unfortunately, yeah.
I don't watch a lot of TV either, like you said. It's just I don't know. I like to watch something maybe just on YouTube, like a shorter video that I don't have to commit like,
Your
72
attention
episodes
and
to get to the
right,
whole
right.
story.
Yeah.
Like I'll read I don't know, it's weird because I'll read a whole book, but I won't watch a whole season of a show. I
But
don't know.
that's totally fair though, because you're an English major, I'm a Hispanic literature major, and I read a lot, and so I guess that's kind of why, you know what I mean? Like I feel like most of my, I guess, the way that I see it, man, like I get most of my fix of science fiction and fantasy through what I read, and even maybe through the video games that I play. That like when I'm trying to find like a TV show to watch, I don't know. I guess I'm usually looking for something that's a little bit more grounded in like reality, in like real life. You know what I mean? Like my favorite TV show, my favorite drama that I've ever seen, and it's probably like the only drama. It's like the only drama that I've ever seen from beginning to end. I don't know if that I've ever mentioned it to you, but it's Rescue Me. It's a
Oh,
show
I
about
haven't watched it. I know about it.
it's about the firefighters in New York City, like a few years after 9/11.
Yeah.
And it's super cool because it's like it's just these dudes pretty much daily lives, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's interesting what it tries to do. You know how like apparently the way that I understand it, the New York Fire Department after 9/11, it used to be like super glorified, and you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And so what the show tries to do is like to bring these people and to like show that like yes, these people are heroes for the sacrifices that they made during 9/11, and but it also tries to show them that like the system itself is pretty flawed, and unfortunately as heroic and as selfless as these firefighters may be, their lives are also super problematic, right? Like the fire departments tend to be like wildly homophobic and surrounded by like drugs and alcoholism and stuff like that, family issues and all those sorts of like personal issues. So it goes pretty deep into all these problems that like all these dudes face in their daily lives. And there definitely are some really really bad, I think season 2 particularly is really bad. There's a bunch of storylines that don't really go anywhere. um but I think the show overall is pretty good. It hits some pretty deep notes here and there. The first season just artistically is so interesting that I would even recommend, even if you're not looking to stick with the show for the entirety, for the duration of it, for all the 7 seasons, I would even recommend the first season, which is just 10 episodes long. I would recommend that to anyone because artistically it's just really really interesting.
That's pretty high praise.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think it's excellent, to be honest.
That's a fair point, and that's something I like ever really thought about. But when you think of a firefighter, you think of like a buff white dude, and that's like it, right?
Right. Yeah. You don't really think about anything that's going on behind that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting, but once again, it's a show that is pretty. Of course, it takes some artistic liberties, you know, but overall, like the issues that it touches upon are all like pretty grounded in reality. And even the other show that I've really enjoyed recently is Master of None on Netflix with that
Oh
dude
yeah.
from Parks and Recreation. That's an awesome show, and once again, you know, it's just it's basically this dude living his life in New York City, trying to make it as an actor and like trying to like juggle his life with romance and everything. It's just I don't know. I find it entertaining. I find that's like the entertainment that I'm looking for in TV. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Something along those lines.
I did see one episode. Just randomly, I was watching it, and I thought it was so funny. Yeah, I didn't really like know any of the characters, like what was going on with them, but just
Yeah.
it was
Even then,
well
the
written
comedy
and
like
just all
hit.
the jokes landed. Yeah.
Right. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like it's funny. Like it's charming. It's funny, and but then it also like touches upon just like relevant sort of topics like immigration and all that sort of stuff. So it's a good show, and that's once again this is kind of like what I look for in my TV shows. But then again, I do watch other cartoons that have nothing to do with like reality. You know what I mean? Like our
Yeah,
daily
you
lives,
asked
real
me.
life.
You were like, "Should I watch Full Metal Alchemist?" Which is pretty as far as you can get.
Yeah, but even not even that, like, but even like regular show is one of my favorite cartoons ever, and that's just wild, absolutely wild. But I think that's kind
Oh
of it,
yeah,
right? It's just
yeah,
what I like about it is just like how I don't know the two main characters just kind of remind me of how I behave around my friends. Like I don't know
yes,
when I see them interacting, like I like picture you and me, and like maybe like
yeah, yeah.
Spencer and
That's
Cam
fair.
and everything. So it's just like
Yeah,
super. It's super relatable, and I like all the throwbacks it makes to like '80s culture and all that shit.
yeah. I love
So
that show, man.
so that
It's
is
just something you
cool.
can just throw it on, you know. Like
Yeah,
it's
the
short and
episode
it's like there's not much
exactly
context. You can just watch it.
right. It's not. There are some like kind of overarching storylines here and there, but like you can still just pop in an episode
Yeah,
whenever,
you
and
wouldn't be confused because it's all
exactly.
weird anyways.
It's all weird anyway. And yeah, like the episodes are super short, just like 11, 12 minutes long.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're
great.
wild. They're wild.
I love that concept. Not of really the show, but you know that like short he made, the 11 a.m. and the PM or whatever at the gas
That shit is
station.
so
I
good.
love that.
That shit like it makes me want to like do something like that myself. You know what I mean? Just like write like a 2 minute skit and like do something with it. You know what I mean? It's just it makes it he makes it look so feasible, and I think that's super super cool. And the short itself is so funny too. It's excellent. I love
Yeah,
that. I love
I
that.
do love regular show, but I like the vibe of the short better because it's like so much more. It's more in reality, but the themes are more out there. Like they don't substitute beer for soda, or they're just
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
drugs. You know, but yeah, they're both great. Love that Mark Hamill's in it.
Mark Hamill, yeah, he's excellent.
Hey, quick note by the way, I was like, just in the end credit scene of Into the Spiderverse, I was like, oh my god, Nicolas Cage was in this movie. Did you know that? Nick
Who is
Cage
he?
is in Into the Spider-Verse. He's
No way, dog.
the noir Spider-Man. He's the voice actor of the noir
No
Spider-Man.
way. There's no way.
Look it up.
I don't think I ever noticed that. And that's something that
Yeah,
I would notice because
crazy.
Nicholas I make Nicholas Cage jokes often.
Yeah, I was surprised
Uh,
by the roster of like people I recognized in the credits for all the voice actors.
yeah, honestly, the only person that I know is in it is that dude from New Girl, who's Peter Parker.
Which one?
The dude from New Girl.
Oh, he's Peter Parker. Okay.
Yeah, he plays Peter Parker.
I don't know which character in New Girl
I don't
is
remember his
Peter
name.
Parker, but
It's been
okay,
yeah, I don't remember his name. It's been a
it's
while since
fine.
I've seen it. Yeah, Nicholas Cage. Damn, you're right. Holy
Yeah,
shit,
isn't that crazy?
that was wild,
He
man.
doesn't really sound like him.
No, not at all. And it's odd. Like, why would they choose him for this particular role? It's not very many lines,
Yeah, I
and
don't know. But you say that, but like it works. He
no,
sounded
I mean,
normal.
yeah,
He sounded like he
absolutely,
should. Yeah.
exactly. Like I was never thrown off by it or anything.
Nicholas
Maybe it's
Cage is
good.
such a weird guy, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what the last movie that I saw with him was.
Mm,
Probably Ghost Rider. I honestly don't think I've
oh
seen
God.
any subsequent Nicolas Cage movie after I saw Ghost Rider. And I remember
He always
liking it,
ends
man.
up in horrible movies.
I wonder why that is. He has an Oscar for some movie
No, Nicolas Cage, I think, is a good actor who doesn't take very discerning roles. Is how I
just
see
to
him. Like
just to get a
he'll just do anything that seems cool.
just to get a paycheck, probably. Um, no, yeah, I know he was in this movie about the rapture, and that shit I've heard is quite awful.
Oh, it's like a Christian thing. Yeah, I don't know too much about it.
Yeah. But damn, I remember quite enjoying the National Treasure movies. At least I know
Oh
I
yeah,
saw the second
they're
one at
fun.
some point, but the first one is pretty good. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
fun watch.
No,
Nick
I
Cage,
like Nicolas Cage. He's just like he's a weird guy.
he's a
I don't
definitely a
know.
weird guy, and I love all the memes about him. It
Oh
just
yeah.
makes it so much better how his face seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is like one of the original memes of the internet that has like really survived.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Interesting. Um,
But remember those old Rage comics, like the black and white drawings. One of them was
oh
Nicolas
yeah,
Cage.
with the you're right.
Yeah.
When they used to just do like the negatives and make it
Hmm.
into like a weird cartoon, the you
Yeah.
don't say, yeah, you're right.
He's
Those sort of
ancient.
like 9 gag type memes.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. You're right. I totally forgot about that shit.
God, the internet's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt our riveting conversation on Nicolas Cage, but as I'm drinking my Sifo Tangerine water, I just want to remind everyone to stay hydrated. It's important for you to drink your water. And if you don't, then I will literally come to your front door and threaten you with a Uzi until I
Wait,
see you. Huh?
You're threatening them that you're gonna come to their house and then threaten them more.
Yes, so that they drink their fucking water because everyone needs to stay hydrated.
Well, you're kind of admitting you're not gonna actually do it if you just say you're gonna threaten them, right?
Well, the threat
You should
is that I
threaten to
will
shoot them.
You're right. All right, I'll come in with an Uzi and I'll threaten to shoot them unless they drink their water.
I better have some right now.
Yeah, please do, man. Excellent.
I do not want that to happen to me.
Dude, no one wants that to happen to them.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope no one is out there not drinking their water because they like want to meet you.
Well, I guess we'll see, and I guess I'll report back next time.
if anyone needed to be checked up on.
Yeah. Well, how are we doing on time? Are you taking time? I feel like we should be taking time, recording time.
Let
I have
me
no
just do
idea.
a little calculation. I said Craig joined at 10:37. We started probably just 1 minute after that. So we'll be an hour at 11.
Doing like about 10 minutes.
11:37.
11:37.
So
So we have about like 15 minutes.
18 minutes out. Yeah.
All right, Matthew. How's your weekend, dog? Tell us about your weekend.
Last weekend or the upcoming weekend?
No, your previous weekend. Like what you do, or
I didn't know if you meant if do I have plans for next weekend or how was my last weekend.
Okay, how about this? How was your last weekend, and do you have plans for this weekend?
Okay. I'll start with do I have plans for next weekend because it's more fresh in my mind.
Oh, sorry about that. Damn.
Oh my God, dude. I'm cutting that out. I'm cutting this out.
Right.
So it's not an exciting plan next weekend, but I am going to do an inventory on the Saturday because it pays $20 an hour, and it's too good to pass up, man.
Yeah, dude.
So I've done
excellent.
one before. You just go and you
Count
verify
shit.
that all the parts that are basically. Well, you don't even have to count it if the bag is unopened. It says how many things are on it. So you're just like, okay, there's 16, and it says 16. We're good here.
Okay, excellent. And how long does that usually take? Do you make like a good 8 hours out of that?
Yeah, I mean it depends on the size of the place. It's usually like a car dealership, but it's like a full day of work, and they give you.
Is this for your job, or is this just kind of like a freelance type thing?
Yeah, it's for this guy named Joe. I don't know his last name actually.
Okay,
but yeah, he just
this guy named Joe.
He contacts car dealerships and is like, we'll come count it for you and verify it, and then they pay him and he pays us.
Yeah, damn, that sounds like a sweet deal, man.
Yeah, it's not the most exciting thing, but it makes good money, and I don't hate it.
Yeah, of course, money is never bad. You can purchase hard drugs with it.
I guess.
Yeah, that's always a good time
with it, with the cash.
you can purchase love. You can purchase life.
Yeah.
You can purchase time.
Anyways, last weekend I went over to my friend's house. We just watched some TV. We're like slowly working on beating Symphony of the Night just because neither of us had done it.
I'm beating what?
We're trying to beat Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night, yeah. Shit, how do you like that?
It's fun, but it's like kind of antiquated, so it is a bit of a slog. So we're like trading off. So there's like save points. It's like in Evania, but if you die, you don't just like go back to the last save point. Not only do you lose all your money and map and everything, but it kicks you to the main menu, bizarrely.
Oh, and you have to go back into the game.
And then you pick your file and it loads again, and you're in the game. It's really weird.
Dude,
so
but that's
super annoying.
Why have they not changed that? Because that was the case in the Game Boy Advance games, I believe, too.
Yeah, it's probably easier to make like that.
Even in whatever the new Bloodstained ritual of the night is the same shit, and it's even worse on Switch because the Switch load times are god awful. So it just take you like fucking 47 minutes to die and respawn.
That is something I think Hollow Knight gets so right. Is even if you die, you lose your money. The money is where you died, so you can go get
Yeah,
it back, and you
yeah,
keep
yeah,
all your mapping. So it's like you feel like you're really doing something even when you fail, and it's
yeah.
awesome.
Exactly.
And it
It's
doesn't take
not
10 years to load.
exactly. It's not punishing at all. And like, well, you have your
Yeah.
punish, but you still have like the risk to like go back and get it, and like you can die again because you died there already once.
Hmm.
But you can also like improve and like get all your money back and everything. So yeah, no, you're right. It's so much better. Okay, sorry,
And
go
it's
ahead.
like it
So
has like some antiquated stuff. Like if you want to heal, you have
yeah.
to equip one of your attack hands with the healing item. Leave the
Oh
menu,
shit.
hit the healing button, and then
And
it's
then go
like, oh,
back.
well, I want to put my sword back on, so I got to open the
Yeah.
menu again. So that sucks. If you're using a two-handed
Ah,
weapon, there's no way around
no,
it.
you're right. You're right. That's
Um,
okay.
and it's still though, I can see why people love it.
Of course.
It's stylish. It's the voice acting is cheesy, but
Yeah.
actually pretty enjoyable. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything looks great, and it's still fun to go around the castle and find stuff. And it's got the classic enemy variety Castlevania games have. Like there's so many different types of enemies.
How are you playing it? Where, like, on what platform or whatever?
We're playing it on the digital re-release on the
For the
Xbox.
PS4? Oh, okay.
But
Oh,
yeah,
I
it's been
thought that was
ported
only
to everything
available.
but Switch by now.
I thought that was only available for PS4. Honestly, I didn't know that it made its way to
No, it's
Xbox.
not. It's not the remaster. It's a
Oh,
re-release.
okay,
So
okay, I got it.
it's still ancient.
I wonder if any of the re-releases has had any quality of life improvements on it. I
Oh,
wonder if
I'd love it.
I wonder if the PS4 has any, or even if the PSP version has any. I'd be curious. I have no idea.
Yeah, I was just looking through some GDQ videos. I was thinking of watching a speed run, and I see this dude has beaten the game in an hour blindfolded.
Blindfolded.
It's like, oh,
Shit.
it took me an hour to get past like the first two bosses, and this
Yeah.
guy beat the game without seeing.
Blindfolded. That's
Yeah,
insane.
crazy.
No, I'm super curious about that game because I very much enjoy the Metroidvania genre, as you well know, because we had this conversation plenty times.
Hmm.
I very much enjoyed. I've beaten Harmony of Dissonance and Aria of Sorrow on the GBA.
Hmm.
Aria
Yeah,
is excellent, man. You played Aria all the way through,
yes, I
haven't
did.
you?
I did.
Isn't it?
So much.
Yeah, with Soma, it's excellent, man.
Yeah,
Super
it's
super
really fun.
fun. Combat is fun. The boss fights are fun. Everything, right? So yeah, I've been super curious to play it. It's just
Yeah, I prefer the sequel, but that game is pretty good.
you prefer the DS version. I mean, the DS game.
Yeah, I do. I do like it more.
Oh shit. Okay. I mean, I have it. I have it on my DS. Haven't really played it, but it's
I love
there.
the ability because this was like when you still had to like go into the inventory and manually equip things. I love the ability
Yeah.
to have a second loadout that you can switch between two loadouts on the fly, so you're not
Oh,
always going
sweet.
in the inventory if you have like for two play styles.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I'm not such
And
a
I'm
fan
really
of the one where you have the girl Charlotte. You have two characters. It's like really
you
weird.
control two
As in
I've
the
seen
DS
that.
one.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of off-putting. Like I'm sure it's not a horrible game, but like just like the concept of it, like the gimmick is just kind of off-putting to me.
Yeah, and I know at the end the last four levels are just recycled levels with the
Oh
like
shit.
slightly mixed up. Yeah,
Oh,
which
forget
is
it.
kind of disappointing right before the final boss.
Yeah. No, but I would say even like the well, of course the DS already had like better technology, but even like the animations in Aria of Sorrow, I think are really really cool, man. Just like
Yeah,
how Soma walks and how he turns around and everything is just overall like artistic design and everything. Overall, it's just a really impressive game considering that it was released on the Game Boy Advance.
I love the variety of abilities. Like every enemy has this unique ability, and
Yeah,
you don't always get it from every enemy, but even bosses have them, and you get this like crazy
right.
thing if you're lucky. It's really
And,
cool.
and there's so many different weapons too, and like heavy weapon. Like I love like those big big swords. Like the animation with the big swords is excellent. Like the dude is just like pulling it from behind, and you just see like this wide, like big arc, and everything is just so satisfying, man. It's a good fucking game. It's making me want to play it again. And it's cool because it takes like 6 hours to beat, just about 6-7 hours. I think it took me about 6.5 hours to. I got the shitty ending, but whatever, right? Like I saw pretty much kind of everything, just about. Yeah, I want right.
I would say Symphony of the Night is like pretty mechanically inferior to these games, but
Okay.
if you're like into Castlevania, it's worth playing. But if you're not, if the Castlevania thing is just like a backdrop to you, then it's probably not worth your time.
No, I'm definitely very, very curious. I'd like to check it out. And I've been considering getting the PS4 game. I just haven't because I have my Switch now, and so like every time there's a game that I want to buy on PS4, I have to think about like I could get a Switch game that I can like carry with me like anywhere. Whereas my PS4, it's like in my room, and I don't like spending a lot of time in my room. So you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff to consider. It'd be so convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the beginning, the first level of Symphony of the Night picks up where Rondo of Blood ends. So
Oh no way.
Obviously you fight Dracula at the end of Rondo of Blood. So the beginning of Symphony of the Night is you playing as Richter again, killing Dracula, and Maria's there. Which is just like a really cool.
No shit, that's excellent. Interesting. Yeah, like a cool timeline sort of follow up and everything. Yeah. Sweet.
I have the Switch Castlevania collection, and everyone who reviews it is just like, this doesn't have Symphony of the Night. And like I get it that would be awesome, but you can't expect them to port Symphony of the Night on the same collection that has like NES games. Like it's nowhere near for $20. It's nowhere near the scale of effort.
Yeah, no, you're right. Is Rondo on that?
No, but it does have Bloodlines, which is a kind of hard one to get your hands on these days.
Okay. How have you played Rondo?
I am playing it on like this weird patched emulator that on my DS that I finally got working.
Shit.
Like just because I can't legally obtain it,
without spending like $1 billion.
It's just hard to get everything together for me.
Oh, because you need it right.
I don't even have a CRT. Like
you're right.
But it's really fun, and the DS runs it perfectly. Even though I have the old DS,
really
it was a blast playing. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. This is what platform was this shit even released on?
What is it called? The 16
originally?
Let me make sure I get this right, just so I don't say it wrong. But every level has like an alternate path, so you can like there's like basically 2 games, right? Because you can play it the second time and never do another level twice.
Sick,
yeah. So the PC engine on the CD attachment for the PC engine.
What the fuck? That is odd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Apparently there was also a PSP port.
I've heard this kind of ass though. Maybe am I
know
wrong?
what? I knew there was a PSP port because I patched the audio from the PSP port into the DS one, and that's why it was so hard to get to work because I had these weird audio files in it. But I wanted to do audio.
Yeah. Excellent.
Oh, apparently it was on Wii, but you can't buy anything on Wii anymore. It's down.
You can buy it. Yeah.
They took the service off.
There's a Contra game, Contra Revival, I think it's called. That used to be on WiiWare, and I'm upset that I never even got the chance to play it because it looks.
Is it like exclusive?
It was exclusive to WiiWare, yeah. So it's just like physically impossible to obtain anymore, and it fucking upsets me.
I'm not like I haven't even done it, but like I'm not in the Wii modding scene. But I'm curious if perhaps someone has downloaded.
You're right. I never even thought about pirating it. I mean, not that we're condoning piracy on our family-friendly podcast. Of course.
I'm just spitballing here, but there might be a way.
To obtain. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because your Wii is
don't
is it not?
Fucking say it. Don't fucking drag me into this shit on live TV, dog. No, it is not. It is not.
Okay.
we'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
We're talking about dragons. FBI is just dragons. That's what we're talking about.
Dude, you ever played Cheetah Men?
Yes, I have.
You have not. I know you haven't played Cheetah Men because you said it
You
was average
haven't.
at best.
You haven't fucking played it either. I don't even know what I need to Google. I'm on my computer and I need to Google what the fuck this is. Cheetah Men.
Yeah.
Should I not look this up? Because you're laughing as though I'm looking up something stupid.
It's basically it was supposed to be like a rival to Ninja Turtles, but it's awful.
Oh shit! Oh, there's a AVGN video on it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
I'm gonna
where I
have to
first
watch
heard of
that.
it. It's very
No
funny.
way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Okay, yeah, you should check it out. Next time we'll talk about Cheetah Men.
We'll talk about Cheetah Man. Maybe I'll download it somehow and play it, and like I'll actually, have something to talk about.
I think we had stuff to talk about this week.
Well, I mean, like I'll be able to talk about the game in particular, like in depth
okay,
is what
I
I'm
see.
saying.
Yeah. No, I only said it because I keep asking you as a joke because you don't know what it is.
Well, I guess I finally, and I'm glad to know that there's an AVGN on it because I fucking love AVGN, and I'm sad. It makes me sad that I was never into it while like it was like
When it was like,
originally
Prime.
running. Yeah, because I feel like that would have been.
Yeah,
I don't know. It would have been entertaining to be a part of. Now it's just kind of.
yeah.
I
Now
just
only
kind of
have
old.
I like. Now have I only gotten older, so it's like slightly less humorous.
Not as funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but also
Yeah.
I think his channel has become more like trying to capitalize on how YouTube is these days instead of just doing something he loves.
It's right. It's not as genuine as he perhaps used to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say though,
Yeah,
one of his
classic.
recent videos on the Doom clone for I think for Chex released,
Oh my God.
the Chex cereal.
Yeah.
They released like a Doom clone however long ago,
man.
and he made a video on it. It's pretty good, at least for like the novelty of the Chex video game that I've never heard of. At least for the novelty of him talking about it, it's worth watching. I'd say.
Was there any reference to Brutal Doom in that video?
Yeah, absolutely. He like patches it into the
Right.
He patches it into the Chex game.
Yeah, my friend who I know still watches his stuff was telling me about this too, where you can get the Chex dudes to like explode in blood with the mod.
yeah, no, that was good.
That's awesome.
I definitely like. Once again, I am upset that I didn't catch it while it was like hot, but I still very much enjoy finding new episodes to watch. And I know there's like a whole backlog, but there's a bunch of shit that I'm not really like super interested in watching, but now I'm very interested in watching the video on Cheetah Man because I'm sure
you'll love it.
I'm sure he has a lot of shit to say about it.
Yeah. Well, I think we should be hitting time here.
I was just gonna say, do you have any closing remarks, Matthew? What have we learned today, man?
Today, I think we learned that you should not openly discuss any modified Nintendo hardware you may or may not own on live on the air.
Yes, you're right. That is a good lesson
for anyone to hear.
That is a good lesson. That is a very powerful takeaway.
Wait. Here's a better lesson. Stay hydrated, or a dude will show up with an Uzi outside.
Not any dude, man.
Well, I know you're kind of a busy man. Like, don't you have subcontractors?
Well, it depends. I guess we'll see how demand is this week. And if demand is too high, then I guess I will have to go with the subcontractor route. All right, dude. This has been fantastic.
That was fun.
Yeah, very good conversation, and we'll keep talking shit elsewhere. And we'll be back sometime within, I don't know, hopefully soon. Yeah. Excellent.
All right, catch you next time.
All right, man. Peace out.